All right, so here we are back with the Germans for their third turn. This will likely be the last turn that I do in the game here. I think we're going to basically cover everything I want to. I apologize for not playing out a full battle report. It's a little time consuming to do it this way. If you're looking for full bat reps, I do have an event coming up in the next 2 weeks, and I will attempt to film all 3 games for you so you can kind of see it in a little more continuous motion and a little less camera juggling and things like that. So, but hopefully you kind of enjoyed this, especially if you're kind of just getting into the game and you want to kind of see how certain things work. Could have made little mistakes here and there. It's a little different playing like this. Pretty fluent with the rules, but when I slow down and overthink things, sometimes I misspeak or I say things incorrectly. But for the most part, hopefully I got most things correct. And of course, mistakes, please tell me, and then I will attempt to clarify that, because I don't want to mislead anybody on things. But hopefully you enjoyed the bat rep so far, and we'll finish up with this turn 3 and call it a day. So don't forget to subscribe too if you guys aren't subscribed, or subscribe to my blog at the very least, and check me out at RHQ TV, and hopefully you guys will chat me up and send me an email, Skype. I'm pretty much on everything. Twitter, you name it, I'm on there. I'm always available for chatting, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. All right, so back to the game. Enough of me rambling. All right, here we go. So Germans, start phase. We got a lot of upkeep to do over here. I hate to say it, but my Germans are getting kind of crushed here. Although the beauty of doing a mock rep is always win. So first things first, we're going to get these guys unpinned here. We know that their motivation is fearless, so that means they're on 3 up. So let's get that dice roll. Oh, it's a 2. That means they are staying right there, which potentially has problems because that artillery knows where we're at. So the pin stays right where it is. They are pinned. Now, they do not count as moving. They can move, although they cannot move any closer to a visible enemy. So clearly they can't go that way because the enemy's there. They can't go this way because they would become in line of sight of those. And the only way they can do it is go backwards. Now, they're at the point where they should actually stay stationary. Because if they stay stationary, don't move or shoot, they will claim gone to ground and be an additional +1. So they're concealed in the open and +1 for gone to ground. So that's going to make them a lot harder to hit. So they're going to stay there, and although they're not in a great position, not doing anything is better than trying to do something in this case. Okay, second platoon. They're also fearless. Let's give them a roll. So they're looking for a 3 up again. Okay, that's a cocked dice. So, oh, a 2. Now, they failed their unpin check as well, but they got the HQ with them. So the HQ can allow them to re-roll a motivation check. He says, come on, fellas, let's do it. He rolls, and they roll a 3, and we'll call that one a good one. It's pretty flat. So there's a 3. So they are motivated, and they are now unpinned, free to do whatever they so choose. And with all those tanks coming down, they don't have a heck of a lot going on. Now, it doesn't look like I'm going to get to an assault on this one, but bear with me on it, and what we'll do is, well, we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can get into an assault. And if I don't, then I'll do a separate video on assaulting, and we'll just call that a tutorial as well. Okay, so Germans got a chance to move. These guys can't go anywhere. The infantry platoon is going to see what kind of range they got. Now, you know what? They do have 10 inches, so they could get some guys into assault range. So I might very well do that, although they are better in defensive fire. So perhaps they will stay stationary and let the Russians come to them. I think that's what I'll do, because I'm fully behind the building. No need to rush out and get machine gunned to death. So maybe I'll just stay stationary there. But what I will do is I will have to traverse my turret back. Now, because these guys were still in the front of that, it's not going to be a +1 for slow traverse, because it can just traverse to here and still have guys in the front arc. And you draw the arc across here. There's only one guy behind, and it's actually not the guy I'm going to hit. So it's not going to be a +1 for slow traverse in this case, if I'm doing the rule correctly. This guy, unfortunately, can't see anything, although he can see the tank that's up the road. So he's going to traverse his turret to point at the target, but will not have to add a +1 because he can see the tanks that are up the road. So 2 shots here, 2 shots here, because they did not move, and then we'll do the appropriate modifiers and things like that for the tanks. So let's do the one here. Let's go down the road and down the road. And I'll move these two trees just for line of sight concerns. They actually are not blocking the line of sight of the tank itself, but just so you guys can see on camera. Now, I have no further movement, so let's go ahead and do the shots. Now, we should measure the distance because that might be, although I believe it was long range last turn, which it is, so it is long range. So that means that the Tiger tank is going to be hitting these guys normally on 3s because they're trained. 3s. Right there. But because long range, he now needs 4s. Although there is no concealment, because there was no concealment for the Russians, and they're not gone to ground, so it's just straight up needing 4s. Of course, it's in the front armor, so we don't have to do that silliness with side armor and front armor. Just going to go ahead and roll those 2 shots. I rolled a 1 and a 3. And if you're not sure what that means, it means they both missed. So miss and miss. So no shots penetrating, no need for firepowers, no need for armor saves. The second Tiger, shooting up the road. Now his measurement is just over 16, and he's concealed. So he needs 3s, because it's long range, needs 4s, and because it's concealed, he needs 5s. So he needs 2 shots, needing 5s. Couldn't hit with 4s, likely not going to hit with 5s. 4 and a 2, which means miss, miss. Good job, Tiger tanks. Both shots missed. Now you will make a note that I did not roll Tiger Ace skills for the Tiger tanks. That's just because I didn't want to have these specialty rules sort of taking over this sort of demonstration. Tigers do get special skills. Chances are they might roll rate of fire 3, they might re-roll misses, they may have clever hands, or for the fatherland, which gives them extra motivation or extra skill checks. That's something you can look up in the German special rules. Not something I wanted to bring into this. I did want to bring Stormtrooper in though, because that is a very common special rule. Not always are you going to see Tiger Aces. Okay, so both Tiger tanks missed. Both infantry platoons never moved or shot, so they both claim gone to ground. And the gone to ground marker is also in your dice tins, and it's the square one right here, and it says gone to ground. Gone to ground. There we go. And I should say that each one of those actually does specify on there. So there's pin down, focus, pin down. So they're gone to ground and pinned. These guys over here are not pinned, and that matters based on their rate of fire and defensive fire. So that is a very short German turn. Now to Stormtrooper, I may or may not do that. I actually will Stormtrooper the Tiger tank, just because I want to pull him back a little bit, because I don't want to have return full rate of fire shots on me. So Tiger tank, Stormtrooper, they roll a 4, finally they do something successful. Both can Stormtrooper. Now, just because they both can, doesn't mean they both have to. So I'm actually going to pull this Tiger tank 2 inches over and 2 inches back. So slight adjustment to get out of here. Going to make sure his turret's facing that way. One tank still will have a shot, but not 2. So he is just off camera. He's right there. And we're going to turn it over to the Russians for their third and final turn, and hopefully we can crash in and get an assault happening. So please stay tuned for that.